Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Saturday before the Zohr Salat. Saturday, the 9th of Ramadan, 1444, corresponding with the English date, 1st of April 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. Hazrat Wala is saying that Hazrat Maulana Abdul Ghani Sahab made wonderful bahas and kalam on this particular ayat, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this particular ayat tells us about our goal and our objective, and that is to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah ta'ala also showed us the tariq, the method and the way that we can inculcate and achieve this type of taqwa, and that is to be in the company of the sadiqeen and the pious. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed the Quran so that we can have taqwa. Allah ta'ala has given us siyam and roza also so that we can get taqwa. The Anbiya alayhimu salatu wassalam also came so that they could teach us taqwa. Rather, they could make us reach the level, desired level of taqwa. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb used to say, appreciate Ramadan, for you know not if you would be blessed with another one. Allah Ta'ala speaks about the maqsad of creating insan and jinn. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We have not created jinn and man except so that they can worship us. So the amal that we do to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is ibadat. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam practically also drew some lines on the ground, on the sand, illustrating to the Sahaba, and then he says that this particular line is the Sirat-e-Mustaqim. Now, it is for that reason that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught that. He illustrated it also that we make dua for that same path. Ihdina Sirat-al-Mustaqim. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah says that Surah Fatiha is Ajma'us Surah, the most comprehensive of all surats, and the dua that is mentioned in there is the most comprehensive of all duas. Hazrat Tanvi says, I was traveling once, and at this time truly I understood the tafsir of Ulaika ala hudam min rabbihim wa ulaika humul muflihun, that what is the path of hidayat and who are the successful ones. He says, I boarded the train at Saharanpur heading for Lucknow, and there was a person who came and sat also, and he also sat at Saharanpur, but he was going to Lurki. Now I asked him after a while that where are you heading to? So he says that I'm going to Lurki. So I said to him, it is greatly possible that you are going there, but this train is going to Lucknow. Nevertheless, when I said this to him, he became so restless. Now, Lurki is just a few minutes away from Saharanpur, but in the opposite direction, not in the direction of Lucknow. Hazrat Tanvi said, my destination was so far, but I was at ease, I was at peace, and I knew the path that I had taken was the correct path, due to which I would reach my destination even if it would be after a long while. This person's destination was so close, but he was not on the straight path, due to which he became restless, due to which he would never reach his destination. He says that at that time I understood that what is hidayat and what is the straight path of hidayat. Allahu Akbar. So the dua that we make the most is Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Ibn Qayyim saying that the dua is found in the most comprehensive surat, so it is the most comprehensive dua. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. Also, Allahumma hdina wa saddidna, O Allah, guide us and keep us steadfast. bar sirat-e mustaqim kase gumrah nest. So long as a person is on the sirat-e mustaqim, he will never be astray. So here Allah Ta'ala is saying, be with the sadiqeen. Now who are the sadiqeen? Those are the sadiqeen who are truthful. How are they truthful? Sadaqa fil qal, wa sadaqa fil fi'al, wa sadaqa fil hal. Those that are absolutely true and honest in word, in speech, true and honest in action, and true and honest in spiritual state. Hazrat Maulana Shah Muhibbullah has written remarkably on this here. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib says that regarding sidq in maqal and sidq in fi'al, that is found. But sidq in hal, nobody has written about that, not even the author of Ruhul Ma'ani. Nevertheless, there was the Sheikh in the Haram who was a celebrated Sheikh of the Haram. People were affected by him, people understood him to be great, etc. Nevertheless, after that, his love then became for a certain woman. And then he kept on thinking that I am giving the people doka and deception, because his hal was like that, he was crying, etc. But now his love was not for Allah, but his love was for a woman. Nevertheless, because he was so true in his hal and his spiritual state, he took out that jubba, he came to the mashayikh of the haram, and he put this jubba in front of them, saying to them that my hal is not this year, that's why I have taken out this jubba. Hazrat Maulana Zahurul Hasan, he used to come and spend time with Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib. He was the Khalifa of Hazrat Tanvi. He used to tell us, this man here, I know him from the very start, but from that time right up till now, his speaking, his life, his everything is about sidq and niyat and ikhlas. Allahu Akbar. So this particular incident of the Sheikh of the Haram speaks about how honest he was in hal and how he didn't want the people to go astray. So he writes, Sheikh Sadiqul Hal Buad, that the Sheikh was true in his hal. So nevertheless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let it be such and make us true, honest and sincere in our speech, fil maqal, wal fi'al, wal hal, in our deed and in our spiritual state as well. आज अपने हाल पर रुसूख पैदा करना है. Today we need to entrench ourselves in our spiritual state. We need to become strong and solid in that regard. Nevertheless, he removed his jubba, he handed it over, but because he was so sincere, the mashayikh of the haram made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him, and after some many months, eventually he did come back. When he came back, he said, give my jubba now my spiritual state is right. So what is the taqwa that we are talking about? The most correct place that the taqwa can be ascertained, that is it true or not, it is in the heart. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. O people of Iman, fear Allah and adopt the companionship of those who are true, those who are truthful. So a two-point nuskha in prescription, recipe, the maqsood, the objective, and the path. The objective is the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the path is that of companionship of the pious. So fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that you can stay away from sin. Allah ta'ala is watching you. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. He does not utter any speech except that there are stern angels ready there to take down what he has said. A person used to make tilawat, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up to him the reward of his tilawat. Anyway, looking at that there, he comes to the conclusion saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, but I don't find the reward of certain ayat. It's not there." So Allah Ta'ala says, yes, of course, because that particular ayat was not recited for me. You were reciting. When you heard a sound of thieves or a thief jumping into the yard and this and that, and then you started reading loud so that the thief could understand that the people here are awake, and he ran away. So that particular ayat you read for chasing the thief away and not for me. Allahu Akbar. So sidq must be in every part of our life, in our akhlaq as well. Day and night. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab article, what he wanted to teach and pass on to us was the sidq and ikhlas. Nevertheless, the month of Ramadan, awwaluhu rahmah wa awsatuhu maghfirah wa akhiruhu utqam min an-nar. The first part of it was rahmat, is rahmat, the second part is maghfirat, and the third part is that of emancipation from the fire of Jahannam. So Allah Ta'ala bless us with the reality of this. So Ramadan is so that we can get this nisbat and this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where is there a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It is impossible. Where is Khaliq and where is Makhluk? Where is the creator and where is the created? However, Allah Ta'ala has kept this so we can have a connection with Him. One Buzruk cannot even understand the hal of a next Buzruk, because the hal comes from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And something that comes from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala can truly not even be understood. Inna lil ilmi tughyanun kama hiya lil mal. Definitely for knowledge also there's rebelliousness that come with it, just like how rebelliousness comes with money and riches. Similarly, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say, وَكَذَلِكَ لِلْعِبَادَةِ. Sometimes that very same ibadat is the means of a person going into Jahannam, because it makes a person proud and arrogant. We are sick with these ailments and sicknesses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove these sicknesses and grant us complete and total salvation from all these maladies, illnesses and sicknesses. Hazrat Wala there quotes after quotes that narration which Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to quote abundantly about the people of Jahannam, when all of a sudden such a stench comes into Jahannam due to which they actually hold their noses, saying that what has happened here now? Nevertheless, they are told that one person who had absolutely bad, abhorrent character made his entry into Jahannam. So that is the end result of a person who has bad character. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making qadr of the month of Ramadan. Everybody somehow or the other makes qadr, but after that some are blessed with tawfiq to do good and some are not blessed with tawfiq to do good. Therefore ask Allah for that tawfiq and that inspiration to do good deeds. Allahumma إنا نسألك التوفيق لمحابك من الأعمال وصدق التوكل عليك وحسن الظن بك. Oh Allah, we ask you for tawfiq to carry out the a'mal which are most beloved to you. وصدق التوكل عليك, and true trust in you. وحسن الظن بك, and entertaining good thoughts of you. Hazrat Hakim Ifhamullah, on the demise of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, he cried bitterly and profusely, and people said, okay, now calm down in that. But what was his impression at that time? That's what actually I want to share with you. He cried and he said, but tell me, who will teach us a dua like this, of this nature? Tawfiq limahab bika min al-a'mal, sidqa tawakkuli alayk, and husna zanni bik. So there was a person that Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was there. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was there, and there was this speller. And then he said, giving an example of the mashayikh, that you want to hold the mashayikh and hold on to their zat, etc. But what about this year? They are just like this pala. Meaning, over and above that, you would have to do something. You would have to make amal on their ta'limat. Hazrat was taking them towards the direction of Tawheed. So, thereafter, Hazrat Wala then even quotes about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes away the two young daughters of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb just in a matter of few days. Both of them just in the matter of few days. Hazrat Maulana Abdul Majid Saheb Alahbadi wrote remarkably on that he is this personality that would console everyone, but now he is in the same type of position. He's so calm, he's so collected and everything, but who will console him? So Islah of the nafs is necessary. Rather, the name of tasawwuf is that we rectify and we make Islah of our external by carrying out a'mal, and of our internal by rectifying our akhlaq. So the maqsad of the shari'at is that this banda and the slave who was banda is dirari. We are all the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether we like it or not. But we need to become the slaves. I mean, even a kafir is the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we need to become the banda ikhtiyari. Not the one that just compelled, but out of our own will we go forward and we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we do what we have to do. Man qala la ilaha illallah sidqan min qalbihi. The person who says La ilaha illallah sincerely from his heart will enter Jannah. Now when we even saying this wazifa and this wird, don't just say it anyhow or haphazardly. Rather be clear. Say it correctly. Say it properly. La ilaha illallah. The ha, la ilaha, and illallah, the ha, both must be clear. There are great secrets that are hidden in that. We can't just say it anyhow. Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fathani used to say, Hech arzu nest. I have no desire whatsoever other than that I find a corner of a solitude where I can make takrar and repeat this particular kalima. Allah Ta'ala speaks to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, saying to him, "Wasbir nafsaka ma'alladhina yad'una rabbahum," that make sabr, confine yourself with those ma'alladhina yad'una rabbahum, that they are calling your Rabb. واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه, that they are seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sit with them. So the Nabiya is being commanded that you leave your private apartment and you come and you sit in the company of the Sahaba. So like that, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was commanded to sit in the companionship of the Sahaba, whereas the Sahaba are commanded to sit in the companionship of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this year is so amazing. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam leaves there and he comes and sit with the Sahaba. It is for this reason that practically and verbally our mashayikh even demonstrated this year. Hazrat Haji Sahib used to say, all of you people are better than me. You have come out in the search of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have not gone anywhere. I'm just sitting here. मैं अपना नामो निशा मिटा बेटा शोहरा उड़ा दिया मेरा किसने. I annihilated and wiped out, erased all signs of myself, completely and totally self-effacement. I wonder who has spread my name around. Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Saheb used to say, जिसने मिटाया अपना नामो निशा हफ्त इक़लीम का बना सुल्तान. The person who has humbled himself completely and totally, he becomes the king of the world. Allah elevates him so much. Allahu Akbar. So Allah Ta'ala make us acquainted and let us understand these topics. Hazrat Gangohi Rahimahullah On one occasion, it starts raining. He was teaching the Bukhari Sharif. The students ran because they didn't want their kitabs and the Bukhari Sharif to get wet. And when they look this way and that way, that where's Hazrath? Hazrath is taking the shoes of all the students. And he's saying that you people have come to me, so I also need to fulfill your haqq. So they even understood themselves to be lower than that of even a dog. But when they are done this year and they humble themselves to this extent, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated them greater and higher than even that of angels. Hazrat Maulana Qasim Saheb, Hazrat Maulana Gangohi, all of them went to Hazrat Haji Saheb. Why? For this nisbat, for this daulat, for this wealth, for this connection, for this bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which was in the heart of Hazrat Haji Imdadullah. They lowered themselves completely and humbled themselves and came and sat there. Allah Ta'ala make this type of ta'limat common. Allah Ta'ala bless us with these ni'mats, not just the apparent ni'mats, but these batini ni'mats as well. If you have anything and everything and you don't have the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then in reality, what do you really have? Now, what is the work? What is the purpose? How is that heart that doesn't have your nisbat or your connection in it? Allahu Akbar. So Allah Ta'ala bless us with these batini nisbats, and Allah Ta'ala give us ta'alluq with the Quran, and Allah Ta'ala bless all my children and my progeny, my grandchildren and all of them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep them on the straight path, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase them. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.